for CAD Block 1. In this video, we're going to show you how to complete an orthographic projection. All right, what that means is you're going to lay out your front, top, right side, and isometric view so that it's ready for printing on paper. So let's show you how to do this. We'll start by going back to our original CAD block. All right, so as you can see, we have CAD Block 1 here. If I press the F key, it's going to fit it to my screen. In this case, I'm using a mouse today. I would strongly recommend you use a mouse with your computer whenever you get the chance. It definitely makes all of this a lot easier. But I will give you some tips for using the trackpad if that's all you got. So to begin with, I'm going to come over here to where it says CAD Block 1. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go up to create drawing from CAD Block 1. You'll notice that I have a RiverTech template. I'm going to show you how to create a RiverTech template, drawing template, so that way you don't have to do a lot of the edits that we're going to do in this one every single time you do this. All right, but to begin with, we want to use one of the standard ANSI A inch templates. All right, if you don't see ANSI A inch, then go over here to ANSI and see if it's there. Okay, in our case, we want to use the 4 views. The 4 standard views will automatically populate and lay out for you, so that makes life easy. That's assuming you did everything in the front plane when you started. Okay, if you used a different plane, then your layout views might be different. Okay, so we'll click OK. Give it a second to generate the title block and the page. All right, so it's loading up. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna press the F key to fit. All right, and then first thing I want to do is I want to edit my title block here. You'll notice it brought in all my views. So I have my front, my top, my right side, and my isometric. There's a lot of stuff in this title block that for right now, I don't need, don't want. All right, so I'm going to try and click and drag a box around this, and then I'm going to hit delete on the keyboard, grab some more of this over here. All right, now you can also individually select these things and hit delete. All right, depends on how precise you are with being able to select. So all I'm doing is clicking on it and hitting delete on my keyboard. You'll notice if you come along here, there's some extra blank text boxes, or they call them notes. All right, so I'm going to get rid of all that. I can drag a box around there and delete. All right, so now I'm going to focus on the title block, and we'll come back to the drawing here in a minute because I want to be able to use this for all of my work going forward. I want to have like a standard template that I can just draw from, so I don't have to make these edits every single time. So I'm going to try to select this top title block note here, and click on it when you get it, and then I'm going to drag it up and try to drop it in the middle of up here. All right, this one here, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to hit delete. Watch what happens when I do. When I do, they both delete. All right, that's because I still had the previous one selected. So I'm going to hit Control Z on the keyboard to undo. So make sure you only have one selected when you hit delete. Okay, and then this one here, I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to grab the anchor point at the end of it and drag it in to just shorten it up. All right, the reason I'm shortening it up is because I want to get to this one here, and this one was kind of tucked in behind it. So I'll double click on this one, and then I'm going to come over here with my cursor and get rid of where it says number, all right, or NO. Okay, I want this to signify the drawing, but we're going to use the names of the drawings instead of drawing numbers. We're not using sequence numbers for our drawings. So I'm going to hit the green check mark to finish that edit. And then I'm going to come up to this top one, double click on that, select all the text in there by double clicking into it or clicking and dragging to highlight it. And I'm going to change this to the name of the class. All right, this is digital art and design. All right, and in this case, I know it's going to be a little bit small for this template, so I'm going to change this to 3/16 of an inch or 0.188. Okay, you'll notice that the text is not being driven by point size, it's being driven by decimal inch. All right, that's something that's kind of unique and different that you're going to see a lot in CAD software. All right, down here, I'm going to change this from where it says title to designer. All right. Okay, I'm going to green check on that. And then I'm going to come in here and go ahead and put in your name. All right, I'm going to highlight that for me. All right, I can get away with 1/4 inch text height, so 0.250. If you can, awesome. If you can't and you need to use something a little bit smaller, try 3/16 of an inch, 0.188. Definitely you use what works for you. And then based on the name of the project, all right, I'm going to come in here. This is CAD block 1, green check. Now you could stop there, but I kind of want to fancy it up. All right, I want this to have, I want this to have the logo for our organization. Okay, so if I use the mouse wheel, the scroll wheel, like a button, I can click and drag, and it allows me to try and just drag the page around so I can get to a different spot. All right, again, instead of scrolling with the scroll wheel, click on it like it's a button and then drag with it. On older mice, this would have been a middle button, but they don't make middle buttons anymore, I don't think. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a picture. So I'm going to go up here to where it says insert image. And if you don't see the import at the bottom, okay, then there's a good chance you're probably in windowed mode. So when I'm in windowed mode, I can't see it. When I go to full screen, all right, I can see it. So just double check on that. I'm going to import, and then I want to bring in my image. Now, in my case, I already have my image, but I would go and find it, and I have the RiverTech logo. It's in my downloads folder. Um, I have put a copy of this on Google Classroom, so you can download it and put it into your drawings. So here it is. Okay, I already had a copy of it. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click and drag to size it. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm going to put this in here. I want to make sure I have just a little bit of white space going all the way around it. I think that's good. And then I'm going to come up here. You'll notice I have the straight line tool. And then if I click on the little drop down arrow to the right of it, I can come down to the corner rectangle. In parentheses, you can see the shortcut command. So if you hit the G key on your keyboard, it'll get you to the same tool. I'm going to start from this corner here, and I'm just going to drag out my rectangle. Now, if your rectangle snaps to the midpoint when you drop it, that's okay. We can edit that. What I wanted to do was, instead of snapping to that midpoint, is I wanted to drag it in so it's kind of tightened up. So I'm going to hit the escape key on my keyboard to get out of that tool, and I'm going to click on this segment here, and I'm going to grab the midpoint and just drag it in until I get spacing that I want. All right, and I want the white space on this side to be approximately the same as it is on that side. So I need to come in just a little bit further, I think. So, and you can be as finicky with this as you want. I think that looks good right there. So now that I've created my title block, I don't want to have to go through this work every single time I make a new drawing. So I'd like to be able to just basically come in here and change the name of what the drawing is and move on. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here at the bottom where it says CAD block 1, drawing 2. Okay, yours might not say drawing 2, yours might say drawing 1. I've done a couple drawings with this, but this is the active tab. You can see it's highlighted. So I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go to export. And then in export, the really important thing is change it to a DWT. That is what's called a drawing template format. From there, I'm going to change this to ANSI A because that's the paper size. So that's a letter size 8.5 by 11. And then I'm going to call it River Tech. All right. Template. All right. So this is my ANSI A River Tech template, and that's how I know it's the right one. Now, the next thing I can do is I can decide where I want to put this. I can store the file in this document, and it'll be stored up in the cloud, and I can grab it later. If I feel like I want to be able to download this to my hard drive on my computer, for whatever reason, I want to be able to download it and then maybe pull it up later for something else, I could do that too. In this case, I'm gonna hit download and store file in new tab. Okay, what that does for me is it downloads a copy, which I could then potentially put up for others to use. Um, I can put it in my long-term storage in case, I forget how to do this and then I need to get to it again later. But there's also one in the tab. All right, I'm gonna hit export. Now that that's done, I'm gonna finish my drawing. All right, so you'll see it downloaded a copy. There's also an ANSI A RiverTech template right here. Okay, when it loads the template, you'll see it loads it a little bit differently. Okay, but that's what my template looks like. Okay, so for now, I'll go back to my drawing and I want to add my overall dimensions. So anytime I do any sort of hang on, let's get out of this. Hit escape. All right. Anyway, um, I want to add the overall dimensions to this. Okay, so when I add my overall dimensions, I'm missing some toolbars here. Let's go back. I'm going to refresh my screen. There we go. It's a little better. And why is my download still showing? There we go. Okay, that's better. All right. So now, if we get back into our drawing, okay, one of the things that's missing is I don't have any dimensions to let me know how big this is. At a minimum, you should have 3 dimensions to indicate how wide it is, how tall it is, and how deep it is. Right. So I want to be able to know the overall dimensions of this, the overall size. So I'm going to go to my dimension tool. You can come up here and click on it, or you can hit the D key on your keyboard, which I often do. And to begin with, I want to know how wide is this? What's the width of my front view? So I'm going to click one end, click the other end, and you never want to put your dimensions on the part. All right, that makes it hard to read the part. That makes it hard to understand the drawing. So we always pull them off the part. And when I click down to drop it, what you're going to see is it puts a little bit of a gap between the part and the extent. These are called extension lines for my dimension. All right. Let me just center that up a little bit. That's better. Now, this shows me the how wide this is or the length of my front view. The problem is if I'm looking at my top view, which shares that dimension, right? I have to look way down here to see it. So best practice is actually to put common dimensions between the two shared views. So instead of putting it down here, I'm going to go to my dimension tool and I'm going to go from here to here, come up and drop my dimension. Now, when I want to see the width of the object, I can see it here, but I can also reference it, just by a quick glance down from my top view. So that's really important. The other important thing is you don't want to dimension the same thing in more than one place, right? So I have my width down here, my width up here. That's called redundant dimensioning, and that just adds clutter to the page. So I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to select this bottom one, and I'm going to delete it. So I use the delete key on my keyboard. Okay. So now for the height, it's the same idea. So I'll go to my dimensioning tool. All right, I want to dimension the height here. Okay, so that way it's the shared dimension between these two views. Lastly, I want to dimension the depth of the object. So that would be from here back. And you'll notice I'm not putting any dimensions on the isometric view. That's generally just bad practice. Okay, we want to use the orthographic projection, these 2D views, all right, to give out all the information. The isometric is usually there just to provide as a pretty picture. Um, so one of the things you might see is you can highlight over a segment and you can just click on it and then drag out and drop your dimension. Okay, in this case, my dimension's on the wrong side. So if I hit escape, I can use my arrow key to grab it and drag it over to the other side. However, when I do that, what happens? Okay, I'm dimensioning off of over here. You'll notice I no longer have the break. I no longer have that gap between my extension lines and the drawing. So that adds to confusion because, somebody might think, oh, that's still a part of the object. So in this case, I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to redimension by picking this corner and this corner over here, and then dropping my dimension. You'll notice when I get close to the center of my previous dimension, it shows me this quick guide. All right. So the last thing I want to do now, I've got my basic dimensions on here. And could I dimension more? Yes, I absolutely could, right? I haven't dimensioned anything about the notch. I haven't dimensioned anything about this tunnel. And I could certainly go further and dimension those. But for now, we're just going to stick to the big three. All right. That is height, width, and depth. So what I want to do now, though, is I want to turn on hidden lines in my other views to show where this tunnel punches through. So if I click on this and make sure you're not in the dimension tool anymore, so hit escape on your tool on your keyboard if you're still in that tool. So I'll click on this and then I'll right click, go to show hide, and I'm going to show hidden lines. Okay, you'll notice it generates the dashed lines for me. I'm going to come over here, do the same thing down here, right click, show hidden lines. All right. So it's just that simple to add in the hidden lines. If I wanted the hidden lines in on the isometric, I could do that too. In the case of the isometric, I choose usually not to do the hidden lines because it can often get confusing a lot quicker with the hidden lines on. All right, and basically I want the isometric to just to be the pretty picture. So I'm going to right click and I'll turn off the hidden lines on my isometric. All right. So once you're done with this, I'm going to hit the F key on my keyboard to fit. So now would be a good time for you to use your screen capture on your keyboard to take a picture of this. All right, and then you're going to add this in. You're going to add a new slide in behind what you've already put in your documentation in Google Classroom, and you're going to drop this on and fill the slide with it. Okay. When you move on, you'll do CAD Block 2 and ultimately CAD Block 3 using a lot of the same techniques that you saw in these first two videos. Good luck.